Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk for just a couple of minutes about something that I think is super important. I also think that it relates to so many of the influencers and YouTubers that I talk about on a consistent basis. So I wanted to just talk. I don't have an outline or anything like that, but I do have some thoughts. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So, as we know, I talk about so many different influencers, YouTubers, family bloggers, and just public figures as a general kind of category of my channel. As far as commentary goes, that's who I'm usually talking about. And I see this common thread in so many of these people, whether it's Brittany Dawn, Alicia Doherty, Without a Crystal Ball, 8 Passengers, Ruby Frank, so many people that I've talked about for 2 years now. Def Noodles, he's a great example, actually. These people are not teachable. And what happens is you're called out on something that you said or did. And instead of listening to the people that are willing to have an adult conversation with you, they're just labeled as haters and trolls. And if there's one thing that all of these people share, it's that quality. It's the lack of understanding. It's the lack of wanting to not only correct your mistakes, but learn from them and continue learning in the future. I'm going to give you guys an example. Because I've covered the Doherty dozen often as of lately, and I'm so in tune with kind of how Alicia has been behaving, what she does is she'll take a comment that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't tell people where your kids go to school. Let's just use that as a baseline example. What she will do is delete that comment, claim that she doesn't read the negative comments, block you from her channel, and then continue to film at her kids' school and tell everybody where her kids go to school. What so many of these influencers and stuff miss so often is that there are people that really care about your content, and they care about the things that you're saying, and they want to be along for the journey. But they see these red flags, they genuinely care, and you're not allowing them to have a voice. You're not being a teachable person. I think as adults, that's one of the most powerful things that we can exhibit is listening to other people. And I want to make it very clear in this video too. I know that there's a percentage of people online who don't want to have a conversation, and no matter what you say or do, they're going to be upset. Like I've addressed that and I've acknowledged that before. But that's not what we're talking about here. I'm not talking about like the few people that are actually hating and just, actually miserable, prayers for Alicia, prayers for people who give her, criticism, that whole thing. But one of the things that I've liked about being online so much is that I've come to my channel before and delivered a video, and I've seen comments come in, whether it's from one person or 15, it doesn't matter. And they approach the conversation from a different stance because maybe they have a different job than I do. Maybe they have a different life experience than I do. Maybe they have a different lifestyle than I do. Or maybe they just know more about the topic than I do. And they're willing to say, hey, this is ba-da-da-da-da-da. I absorb that and I listen to it. And some people will say, oh, you need to change your content, you need to do this, you need to not do that, da-da-da. But when someone can share their life experience with you or their knowledge, and you can actually absorb that, it's really cool learning. I don't know about you guys, but I like to learn even as an adult. I don't know everything. I will make mistakes in the future, I have been imperfect in the past. I am never going to be perfect in the future because that's not my goal. My goal is to have morals, stand on my integrity, stand on my content, and fix my mistakes if and when they do come up and learn from them to not do them again. I've had some teachable moments on YouTube, and I'm really appreciative for those. I think that when you build somebody up to a certain point, they feel like everything that they've said and done up until that point hasn't been a problem because it's gotten them a number of followers. And that's what a lot of them are after. The followers, the likes, the income that social media brings. So if I made it this far, then the people that are giving me feedback now, they're just hating on me. That's kind of the seat that a lot of these YouTubers sit in, because most of the people that I talk about have really large audiences. But just as quickly as those people were in tune with your content, they can also tune out if you show that you're not a teachable person and you're not willing to even take a second look at the things that you're doing. And there are things that I know that some of my audience might not know. And there is a lot that my audience knows that I know nothing about. And being able to exchange those in a productive environment is always the goal. I know that sometimes the topics that I talk about are upsetting to people. I know sometimes my opinions people don't agree with, but that's just part of being online. That's part of having an audience. That's part of watching a YouTuber. Once in a while, you're going to disagree with what they have to say. That's like, none of us are going to agree on every single thing that comes across. There's things that I disagree with my dad on, and I've known him my entire life. But we have conversations about it, and we respect and acknowledge that we don't have to look 100% at this topic exactly like the other person does. We're from completely different generations. He has more life experience than I do, and I have a little bit of a different point of view. I saw this quote, and I've always saved it, and the quote is, "True humility is staying teachable regardless of what you already know." None of us know it all. It's really weird because when I see people being unteachable and just set in their own ways, and we're talking about privacy and safety concerns of minors being thrown into the conversation, that's where I get a little bit heated about it. If you're an adult and you're unteachable and you're just, making really poor decisions and being a jerk, that's a little bit different than when we're talking about kids being involved. And because I cover family vloggers, the kids are usually caught in the crosshairs of this unteachable parent that they have that wants to make a lot of money online. Axel is already over it. But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this tonight because it was on my heart. It was on my mind. And I always try to consolidate, okay, what do these people have in common that I talk about? And I would say that the one thing that they share is not being teachable adults. And again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, I am not talking about the actual few miserable people that find their way around on the internet. That's not what we're talking about. But I promise to always do my best to remain teachable and learn from you guys and anyone who is willing to have an adult conversation with me. I'm willing to hear you out. Does that mean that conversation is going to dictate the rest of my content making days? No, it doesn't. But I will always hear people out if they want to talk. I think it's really interesting. It can really change the way that you grow online. I really want longevity. I've shared with you guys before that I'm not after you know, a certain amount of subscribers. I don't want to build a business. This is not going to be something that is like the Radiant Brit brand and one day I just pop up on you guys and I'm doing YouTube full time. That is not the goal of this channel. And yes, I realize once you have a huge audience, it's a little different because being a popular YouTuber and also working can get a little tricky sometimes, but that's not even like remotely in my near future, so that's not even a thing that I need to worry about right now. I've never come on to YouTube to make content to do this full time. If people want to do YouTube full time, that's their gig. I always think it's funny when people say they're not going to do YouTube full time and then they end up doing YouTube full time, but that's a different conversation. I promise to always have my ears open for you guys and learn from mistakes that will absolutely happen in the future. Hopefully it's nothing big, but I want longevity. I want I want my little corner of the internet where we can talk about stuff that's on my mind or on your all's mind, and we're just here to share opinions. We're not here to make anyone's life a living hell. We're not here to scream and yell and cuss people out or name call or bully. Never. And that's the goal of my channel. And I am trying to be as consistent as I can be and make sure that I can always stand on my content. I can stand on my integrity and I can stand on the fact that, I am not here to be a menace, and I'm confident in stating that as a fact because I'm not here to be a menace and I've not menaced anybody that I've ever talked about. It's funny because these YouTubers will go full time and think that they're on top of the world, and then people start to catch on about how unteachable they are and they start tuning out. And then you have a full-time YouTuber with views on the decline. We can see that with the Doherty Dozen. We can see that with a lot of other family vloggers and a lot of influencers as well. And then you're just kind of out there, hoping that you might be able to regain a new audience, regain some of your old viewers, get some new viewers, somehow save this sinking ship. But then again, you are unteachable. You showed everybody who you were, so don't be surprised when your views start to tank. But either way, I just wanted to have a little, I guess it's a little soapbox moment. Hopefully it wasn't too brutal, but it was on my mind and I wanted to share it with you guys, just being teachable and the power of remaining teachable during your, entire time on YouTube. I don't think we see it very often, but I know that there are those creators out there who are consistent for a really long time, and they really do show people that they're, willing to listen and admit when they have, screw ups, because we all have screw ups at one point in time. So either way, I'm done for now. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.